Hello, students. Today I'll do the explanation of Unit 4 of the essay Nonviolence by Aldous Huxley. Modern associations of devoted individuals will have as one of their principal functions the systematic cultivation of nonviolent behavior in all the common relationships of life, in personal relationships, in economic relationships, in relationships of groups with other groups, and of groups with governments. Now, he says that the modern association of devoted individuals, when the individuals who will be completely devoted for their purposes, when they will come in association in modern times, when they will be in association with each other, then the principal function will be the systematic cultivation of nonviolent behavior in all sorts of relationships in their life, whether it will be the relationship on personal level or the economic relationships, or be it the relationships of groups with other groups or of groups with governments. In each kind of relationship, the sole motive would be to cultivate nonviolent behavior. The means by which communities can secure nonviolent behavior as between their members are essentially those which must be applied by all reformers. So, the means by which communities can secure nonviolent behavior are the ones that are applied by all reformers. The social structure of the community can be arranged in such a way that individuals shall not be tempted to seek power, to bully, to become rapacious, or and at the same time a direct attack can be made upon the sources of the individual will. In other words, the individual can be taught and taught to teach himself how to repress his tendencies towards rapacity, bullying, power seeking, and the like. Now, what he's trying to say, again, a pretty long sentence. He says that the social structure of the community can be arranged. We can arrange the social structure of the community in such a manner that the individuals won't be tempted to seek power. They won't run after power, or they won't become oppressors, or they won't become a greedy person. And at the same time, a direct attack can be made upon the sources of the individual will. The sources from where the individual wills are affected, even those sources can be directly attacked. In other words, the individual can be taught and taught to teach himself how to repress, how to suppress his tendencies towards rapacity, bullying, power seeking, and the like. So, he's trying to say that the social structure can be set up in such a way that individuals won't be tempted towards vices, and at the same time individuals can be trained in such a manner that they won't ever uh, have the urge to become rapacious or to bully people, or they won't run after power. Further training will be needed in the repression not only of fear, a consummation successfully achieved by military training, but also in the repression of anger and hatred. Now, he says that once a person will be trained how to control himself, then a further training will be needed to oppress the feelings of anger and hatred, just as the feeling of fear is oppressed during the military training. Similarly, the feelings of anger and hatred will also need to be repressed within individuals. The member of our hypothetical association must be able to meet violence without answering violence and without fear or complaint. So, this kind of hypothetical situation and association of individuals with other individuals, or with of the groups with other groups. Now, this kind of hypothetical association, uh, the members of this kind of association should be able to meet violence without answering violence and without fear or complaint. And he must be able to meet it in this way, not only in moments of enthusiasm but also when the blood is cold, when there is no emotional support from friends and sympathizers. So he says that it is not only in the moments of anxiety or enthusiasm that a person will uh, need the support of non-violence, the support of resistance, but he will need this support even when his blood is cold and there is no kind of emotional backing or from his friends or the sympathizers. Even then he will require the usage of the weapon of non-violence. Non-violent resistance to violent oppression is relatively easy in times of great emotional excitement, but it is very difficult at other times, because what happens when we are emotionally stressed, we are not in a position to be violent at that time. So when we are under emotional excitement, emotional stress, at that time non-violent resistance is quite possible and it is easy to use non-violence, but it is difficult at other times when we are not emotionally excited. It is so difficult as to be practically impossible except for those who have undergone systematic training for that very purpose. So he says that it is so difficult to be non-violent when we are not in a great emotional excitement. At that time when we are very easygoing and calm, at that time it is really difficult and almost practically impossible to maintain our behavior of non-violence. It is only possible for those people who have undergone systematic training of non-violence. Only those people can be able or would be able to maintain their calm, to maintain a control over themselves by using the non-violent measures. It takes 3 to 4 years of training to make a good soldier. So he says that if we want to make a good and great soldier, he needs to undergo a tough training of almost 3 to 4 years. It probably takes at least as long to make a good non-violent resistor. So he says that in a similar manner, if we want to make a good non-violent resistor, he will also need to undergo a thorough training of 3 to 4 years, who will be capable of putting his principles into practice in any circumstances, however horrible. So, after the training, that non-violent resistor would be able to apply this principle of non-violence in all kinds of circumstances. Trained individuals would perform two main functions. So, these trained individuals who will receive this training of 3 to 4 years to adopt non-violence in all conditions, these individuals will have two roles, two functions to do. First, it would be their business to keep the life of the association at a higher level than the life of the surrounding society, and in this way to hold up to that society a working model of a superior type of social organization. So this actually means in order to summarize this particular sentence, we can say that the first function or the first liability would be of these trained individuals would be to keep the association, this association with the group or with other individuals, this association should be kept at priority and it should be given a higher level and upper hand over all the other uh, issues or all the other liabilities in life. And in this way, when he will give priority to the association and give it utter importance, then he will be able to hold up a working model of a superior type of social organization. And the second would be that they would have to go out into the world where their trained capacities would be useful in allaying violence once it had broken out, and in organizing non-violent resistance to domestic oppression and the preparation for and waging of international war. So he says that the second responsibility would be to move out in public, to set examples in front of the world, and it will be only in the practical world that their trained capacities as non-violent resistors would be actually used in order to pacify violence once it had broken out, and in organizing non-violent resistance to domestic oppression and the preparation for and waging of international war. So these individuals, these trained individuals will have dual role to play, dual responsibilities to suffice, and the first one will be that they will have to keep the association on the as topmost priority and set before the society an example of a superior type of social organization. And the second responsibility would be that they will have to move out into the world and set examples there of using non-violence, of non-violent resistance. And by using this device of non-violence, they will be able to allay violence when it will actually break out, and it will be possible for them to organize non-violent resistance, whether it will be for domestic operation or whether it will be for international wars. So, with this, we come to the end of the explanation of Unit 4 of the essay Nonviolence by Aldous Huxley. Thank you.